It says he died in that fire. That wasn't true. But my next question is, where did you go? What happened after the hospital massacre? Just kind of disappeared.
I know I couldn't stay in Haddonfield any longer. That night took such a toll on me that I needed to change of scenery.
It says you went to a small town in Northern California.
Correct.
Why wouldn't you stay or go somewhere like Los Angeles or San Diego?
Santa Mira was perfect. Secluded, no one would know or ask questions, and a job opportunity that I knew I could take.
The Silver Shamrock, the company that made those masks that all the kids all over the world.
Yeah, those masks.
Mr. Bird, did you know what they were planning? Did you have any sort of idea at all?
I had no idea. Had I known, I wouldn't have.
Wouldn't have what? Tell me.
I wouldn't have sent those masks to them.
To who?
My nieces. They heard I worked for the Silver Shamrock Company, and they were so excited. And after I told Mr. Cochran about how excited my nieces were to have these masks, he gave me 2 of them for free to send to them. Had I known, I'd have never sent it to them. Those masks. That damn commercial.
Yes.
That damn song.
Mr. Bird.
Something that'll never leave my mind.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Hey, what is going on? My specialist SPC here, and welcome back to the Halloween review series. So guys, after getting through the first 2 parts, we are now here at the black sheep of the Halloween franchise. That, of course, being Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So guys, let me kind of give you a little bit of a story and my background when it comes to Halloween 3. So, when I was about 13 years old, I really was getting into the franchise. I absolutely fell in love with Myers. I loved the first 2 films. And during the AMC Fear Fest, I saw there was a Halloween 3 that was coming on next after that. So I decided, you know what, let's stick around, let's watch another one, let's see what it's like, let's see what Michael Myers can do this time around. And little did I know going into the film that this film did not have Michael Myers whatsoever. I still stuck around, I still watched it, waiting for Myers to pop up. Got through the entire film. He never showed up. Automatically, I said, I hate this film. I will never watch this again. This has nothing to do with Halloween at all. And many years later, which you guys are going to hear me say a few more times, that I hated this film. This was my least favorite Halloween film for many, many years. Now, last year in 2021, getting ready for Halloween Kills, I saw that this film was available on Amazon for very cheap, so I decided to buy it to complete my collection at the time. And obviously, of course, I sat down, I watched it again. I did like it more. I have gotten over the fact that Michael Myers is not in this film at all, so I obviously, as I've become more of a movie fan, more of a movie critic, I guess we could kind of say, I have really come around a little bit more to the film. Still don't love it to the degree, but I just got done watching it once again to get ready for this review series, and I don't know if it's just the mood that I was in watching it, or if I just have enjoyed it more, but I really did enjoy Halloween 3 Season of the Witch quite a bit this time around. So I guess let's just get on into what I liked about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I'm going to start small and get to my bigger ones, and then I will also do the same when it comes to my negatives and things I didn't like. So my first thing I gotta say is I just love the way this film looks, the way that it is shot, just everything when it comes to that. Because it's easier for me to digest knowing that this is not a John Carpenter film. He just helped produce, and he also helped just write the score, along with Alan Howarth, whose name you're going to see in a future video when it comes to his score for the Halloween franchise. And it helps me digest the film more, that this feels, looks, and sounds just like a John Carpenter movie, because honestly, John Carpenter is one of my favorite directors of all time. So it makes me actually want to sit down and enjoy and watch it a little bit more. And I'm honestly kind of surprised too, this time around I really actually liked the villains, because while of course again we don't have Michael Myers in this film, you still have these villains, these guys in these suits who keep going around killing all these people. It's kind of interesting because to a degree they kind of walk and do things like Michael Myers does. Even more ironically enough, the guy who portrayed Myers in the previous film, Halloween 2, Dick Warlock, is actually credited in here, and he's actually one of these guys in the suit. So kind of helps when you can see somebody who used to be Myers actually walking around doing things very similar to his version of Myers in the previous film. Even too, I have to say, Connell Cochran came around to me. The last two times I watched this, I didn't really care much for him. I didn't like what he was doing, the way he was going through the story and killing all these kids. It just, to me, it didn't work. But if you just shut your brain off, you just watch this as its own standalone film, you take it away from Halloween completely, it works as like a sci-fi horror, so it kind of works out the way he does things with the Stonehenge stone, and the way he is going to basically execute all of the kids in the world. It's so dark. I know I already kind of minorly talked about it, but the score in this film is just really good. To me, it's not on the level of the original Halloween by any means, but I really enjoyed it. You can kind of really get into it when things start getting tense. Obviously, as usual, the music swells up, and you get a lot of different feels throughout this. You even, too, minorly get a little bit of Halloween sprinkled out through this, because it pops up on the TV every once in a while. There's even a scene where Cochran has the doctor. I can't remember what his name is. I think it's Chalice or something like that. He has the mask on him, and he turns the TV on, and they're playing Halloween. And while he's sitting there talking to him, Laurie's theme is playing in the back. And it kind of actually worked with this scene the way it was playing out. So I really enjoyed that, too. Pacing-wise, also, again, extremely well done. It takes its time getting us into the story. You kind of get a lot of twists and turns throughout this, which actually kind of help it move along very well. Especially when you start realizing that all the assassins in this are robots. Even the same thing, too, with Ellie, who I'm going to get into her in a little bit, but when you even find out that she's a robot after Chalice actually finds her, she does not say a word, and then just out of nowhere while they're escaping, she just turns on him and tries to kill him. It's just a nice little twist where you're like, where did that come from? Honestly, I love the ending of this film. It actually works extremely well. It's such a bleak ending that you really sit there and wonder, what happened. Chalice escapes from the attack from Ellie. He runs all the way to the gas station where we were at the beginning of the film with the other guy with the pumpkin mask. He goes in, he's calling the broadcast station, trying to get the Silver Shamrock commercial off the air. He gets it off of 2 channels, but there's still one on the third one. And it's getting to the point of the giveaway. And he's just sitting there on the phone telling them to get off. And just the emotion that Tom Atkins gives in this exact scene kind of makes you honestly tense up because you don't know what happens. You can sit there and ask questions afterwards. Kids are there watching the commercial, and of course, obviously, throughout the little bit of the film, you get to see where in the world you actually see the kids wearing these shamrock masks.
The third channel, it's still running. Stop it, please, for God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to, please, stop it now, turn it off, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it!
And for my final positive, guys, I honestly have to say, the kills in this are actually pretty gruesome. And you would not think that from a film that's just about masks that kill people after you watch a commercial, but these assassins, they do not hold back with what they do. They are taking people's heads off. They are crushing their skulls. They are drilling drills into people's heads. It's just, the kills in this are honestly so gruesome that they just work, especially with this being basically like a sci-fi horror, and especially with John Carpenter being involved, you really can kind of get behind it. So, that is it for the things that I like. Now, as far as the things that I don't like about it, again, I'm going to start small and get to the bigger one, because I have, ironically enough, 3 things that I did not like that kind of bring the score down quite a bit for me. The first one is the character, and honestly, even the acting of Ellie. I was never convinced at all. She, to me, did not give any emotion for me to actually kind of feel sorry for her. She's just a character I could have taken or left. And I guess this one's actually kind of a mix that I'm going to say, but Tom Atkins' character, I think his acting in this film is very well done. You actually can believe him when he's scared, when he's exhausted, everything like that. But his motives for helping her, just, they don't make a lot of sense. Really, the only thing this guy wants to do is just to get with this girl, and ironically enough, he does, and then later on asks how old she is, so she looks like she's at least young enough to be one of his daughters, so I don't know. That whole relationship there has always been something that's been kind of to me, personally. Other things I don't really like, honestly, the special effects in here, they look really cheap. They don't hold up here in 2022 as a film that's now 40 years old as well. So, back then I'm sure they looked good. When you get to the practical effects in this are amazing. And for the final negative I have about this film that I do not like, I gotta be brutally honest, is just the fact that this is called Halloween 3, because you go into this thinking that, oh, it's another Michael Myers film. Obviously, of course, over time, this film has actually picked up and become a fan favorite of the franchise as well. Still kind of working its way up for me. I've gotten over the fact that Michael Myers is not in the film. But honestly, and I think you probably have heard this quite a bit, so I just feel if this was just called Season of the Witch, this probably would be hailed as a Carpenter classic to a degree. Obviously, Tommy Lee Wallace, who is the director of this, and actually the director of the 1990 It miniseries, so there's a little tidbit for you guys there if you didn't know that. To me, it's almost like a tease saying that this is going to be a Halloween film, because you go in expecting Michael Myers, expecting him to go around killing people in Haddonfield, but instead you're in California. You got this thing with these Celtic ruins and everything, and these masks killing people. So if this would have just been called Season of the Witch, you could even call it John Carpenter's Season of the Witch, even though obviously, again, just a producer and just a part of the score. I really just think this would have worked a lot better off. So overall, you guys, I do have to say I did like this film quite a bit more. It's not going to really get up to the highest of highs for me. It's not going to be up in like my top 5 favorite Halloween films of all time. Maybe that'll change over time, we're not sure. But I will give Halloween 3 Season of the Witch a 3.25 out of 5. So that's going to do it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you guys go down below in the comments section. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you somebody who is in the middle? Make sure you guys stick around for the other Halloween reviews coming soon. Make sure you guys go back and check out the previous 2. And with that being said, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you in the next one.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.